You're going to trigger people in your healing journey, and you're not even going to know why. My biggest advice is to not care. Keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, you can't fix other people, especially while you're trying to fix yourself. So you elevating, doing something different, being better, you, if it triggers people and they go to acting weird and haywire, release these people so you can move on with your journey. And you have to do it in a stoic way. You got to understand emotions. If you use emotions, it'll keep you tethered to people, places, and things that'll keep you holding you back from propelling yourself forward. And I'm just like, in my own experience, I realized, who you were is not who you are becoming. It is so evident in the things that, I like now, and what I'm attracted to, and who's attracted to me. And as I'm moving in a new direction, I can clearly see it affecting the old connections or the old way of being. I'm not interested, and they're not interested in me, because we're not on the same frequency anymore. And at first, when it started happening in my life, I was really shook by it, because it's always the people closest to you who you expect to be there with you for the long haul. But then once you start healing, you realize those were trauma bonds, or those people were there as the cleanup people. They really weren't there. You guys weren't like a genuine type of connection. Like it was a trauma bond, or it was a cleanup session. Either they're cleaning up your shit or you cleaning up their shit, right? And once there's nothing to be cleaned up, or there's nothing to trauma bond over, you'll see the difference in the connection. It will drift apart. You will change, and you'll see other people change, but they will stay the same, if that makes sense. So they change against you, but they stay the same. You change, because I'm sure they'll say you're changing against them, but you're not staying the same. And so that is what's separating you guys. Because if you were to revert back to how you used to act, you would match their frequency, and your relationships would go back to how they were. But because you're not going backwards and you're moving forward, and it seems as if you're probably moving forward by yourself, it's going to put that drift between the connection more and more. The phone calls, they get less and less. The visitations, less and less, right? And so it can bother you if you're in your emotion, especially with, like I say, the people that you least expected, right? They go to acting weird, and you're like, I thought these people would be happy to see me, excel up out of my current situation, or my mindset, in my self-love, my confidence to come out of the cave, to be better, to be myself. You would think those people would be cheering you on, but those are the people that got comfortable with you being in that cave. So the people that are comfortable with you being in the cave, the self-loathing, the not being productive or prosperous in any way, they get comfortable with that. And when you change the program, they don't like that, right? But that's when you realize who was never there for you genuinely. They were there to play a role in your game, in your movie, right? And once they've played their role, their character is done, they shift. Either they start acting weird, or they do something to sabotage the connection, or you, vice versa, right? It just happens. Or you just gradually move apart. And another thing I'm going to say is see the signs, and don't be blind to them. Don't try to force against them. When you see, it's clear that the distance is there, the disconnect is there. Don't try to make it something it's not. Move accordingly, right? So you don't get yourself hurt and your feelings hurt. Be stoic, right? So see it for what it is and keep moving on your journey. If you put your emotions in it, then it's like you want to confront the person. You want to get some type of, emotional outburst going or release going in that direction. And that's not beneficial to you, honestly. because you have to recognize when you don't have emotions involved, you'll see that it's a frequency thing. It's not nothing personal. So you won't even take it personal. It won't even be emotional. It will be a clear cut and a shift in your direction and where you're putting your energy, right? Like with me, for example, if I see a connection, you're not pouring back into the connection, I continue to like maybe reach out to you or, try to break the ice or whatever that you can clearly feel is there, and there's no reciprocal energy coming from that, I leave it alone, right? And I move on with no emotions. The previous me probably would want to send a paragraph, right? And I want some clarity. I want some understanding. I want to know why, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck now, right? I just move on. Your time is up. That's all I look at it as. Because if I know there was nothing done and it's just happening, it's just, it's just happening, I let it happen. Nobody's wrong in this situation, because I feel like if it was something big enough, then you would say something. And if you don't say something, you don't respect me enough. Excuse me, you're not respecting me enough to let me know what the problem is so I can fix it. So if that's not the case, then I'm just moving on. I'm not pouring my energy into bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because people are grown. They know what they're doing. They know how they feel. The fucked up part is they don't know how to express it. They act like little kids when it comes to that. And so I don't have time to babysit those type of bullshit as like tendencies. I move on. You know what I mean? And get around more mature people who know how to articulate their feelings and what's going on with them, and not be passive aggressive. I'm moving past all of that weird ass energy that people do when they are in trauma or they're stuck in a mindset that I'm moving away from. And so when you're moving away from certain mindsets, you could clearly see it. You could see where you went wrong and how you participated in that shit. But you are not entitled to my energy to stay where you are, right? I'm not going to go back and forth with an energy I've recognized what it's doing and why it's doing it. And I want no parts in it, right? So when you don't want any parts in something, you have to have authority over yourself. That means cut the emotions and move on about your business. Call it for what it is and move forward. And I noticed that in your journey, you will experience this more than once with several people, because everybody is not destined to go where you're going, right? Everybody doesn't see things the way you're going to see things. They're not going to believe in the same things that you believe in once you start evolving. And so the conversations, they change, they get short, and they become non-existent. It doesn't mean something is wrong. It's over. It's just done, right? And we do ourselves a really big service when we just call it for what it is and we move forward and we don't take it personal. And being a woman, right, first, being full of have a lot of water placements. I love family, I love closeness with friends and stuff like that. That used to be a hard thing for me because I want to know why. I want to know what I did or what the problem is. And I noticed that drained me, right? Because the other party don't give a fuck, right? I overcared. That was my problem. I overcared about my connections too much, and there was no balance in that. And I have Libra in my third house, communication. So I'm doing all of the communicating, all the talking, all the giving, all the loving, and I'm not receiving it, right? And so that made me off kilter, because how are you surrounded with people that's not feeding and pouring into you? And you once you sit and look at it, you're the one doing all the pouring, but your pitcher is low, and you don't see anybody taking a cup to pour anything back into you. You see people taking a cup and getting up from the table and hauling ass, right? And so that changes you as a person. It changes how you pour from your pitcher, right? It makes you very mindful of the cups that you let close to your pitcher. And so I just want to share that, because during your journey you will come across relationship that just end and you don't know what the hell happened, right? It just subside. They go their way, you go your way. It's a frequency thing. You guys have drifted apart frequency wise, right? Because either they're growing or going backwards, or you're growing or going backwards. Either way, the frequency is not the same, and that's why you guys drifted apart. And just don't take it personal. Take it for what it is and move on, because just like you connected with those people, you'll connect with the new people that are on the new frequency. You are drifting towards those people as you drift away from those people. And so once you see it for what it is, you just feel better, right? You feel at peace, and you're not holding on to any burdens. You release that, any guilt, any confusion. You just know, okay, this is a frequency thing, this is a vibration thing. I'm moving somewhere else. We're moving towards different collectives. We're not a part of the same collective anymore, and that's fine. And so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, peace, love, and happiness.